I run down the CPR already started on.
More than 100 people were gathered inside this banquet hall for a child's birthday party, according to authorities, when shots rang out.
I had one GSW victim to the chest.
4 people were killed, with at least 11 others wounded. Among the lives lost, 3 children, 8, 9, and 14 years old, along with a 21-year-old.
Devastating. Our hearts go out to the families, to the victims, to this community.
The sheriff's office doesn't believe there's an ongoing threat to the community.
Preliminary investigation is we do not believe that this was a random incident, that we believe that it was a targeted incident, a targeted shooting.
The mayor, fearing gang ties, may be a factor.
I have been told by individuals who were invited to this event that there were people there who had ties in the gang community.
Do we think this instance of violence was directly because of that gang affiliation?
From what I understand, it was due to a beef between individuals, and they wanted to send a message.
Tonight, a town shaken by a stunning act of violence.
Those individuals that attacked these children at a birthday party, there are no words.
Steve Patterson is joining us now from a vigil to remember those young victims. And Steve, we saw you with the mayor there. What else did she tell you?
Yeah, I spoke to her just moments ago. She says that there's about 100 gangs that operate out of this part of California. She also says the sheriff's department has leads but haven't made any arrests yet. And she says anybody with any information needs to step forward immediately.
Steve Patterson at that vigil in Stockton. Thank you. Here in Washington, late tonight, President Trump responding after word Congress is launching new inquiries into a boat strike in the Caribbean, ramping up pressure on the Pentagon and the White House. Kelly O'Donnell is traveling with the president.
A new demand for answers on U.S. boat strikes off Venezuela and whether American actions could constitute a war crime.
We're going to have an investigation. We're going to have a public hearing. We're going to put these folks under oath.
Under scrutiny is the September 2nd attack. The Pentagon conducted a second strike on a boat they allege carried illegal drugs because the first hit had failed to kill all crew members. A U.S. official and a source familiar with the actions tell NBC News. The Washington Post was first to report that follow-on strike was done to comply with Defense Secretary Hegseth's order to kill all on board, according to 2 sources. Tonight on Air Force One, the president told reporters Hegseth says he did not give that kill order.
He said he did not say that, and I believe him.
But lawmakers, including some Republicans, want to know if survivors were killed intentionally.
Obviously, if that occurred, that would be very serious, and I agree that would be an illegal act.
That is a violation of the law of war. When people want to surrender, you don't kill them, and they have to pose an imminent threat. It's hard to believe that 2 people on a raft trying to survive would pose an imminent threat.
In a rare break with the president, Republican leaders of the Senate and House Armed Services Committee pledge rigorous oversight and a full accounting of the operation. However, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem disputes the account.
I would not put any credibility to that story.
While Hegseth posted, our current operations in the Caribbean are lawful.
Kelly is joining us now from West Palm Beach. And Kelly, the president also says he's spoken recently with the leader of Venezuela, right?
He acknowledged that phone call with Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, but he would not share details of their conversation. As the U.S. ramps up military assets near Venezuela and the president warned their airspace should be considered closed, Mr. Trump said don't read anything into that when asked if military strikes are imminent. Hallie?
Kelly O'Donnell traveling with the president in Florida. Thank you. Also in Florida, today's high-stakes meeting between top American and Ukrainian officials. Raf Sanchez is following this for us. And Raf, sounds like a step closer to peace in that region, but certainly no done deal yet.
Yeah, that's right, Holly. Secretary of State Rubio said this was a very productive meeting, and it does seem that the U.S. and Ukrainian positions are much closer together now than they were at the start of this process. You'll remember the original proposal President Trump wanted Ukraine to accept read a lot like Vladimir Putin's wish list. It called on Ukraine to surrender territory, to limit the size of its army. The big question now is, will Russia accept this modified proposal? And we may get an answer to that next week, week when Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Moscow for meetings. But Putin has made it very clear if he does not get an offer he likes, he's prepared to fight on. Hallie.
Raf Sanchez, thank you. The Israeli prime minister is asking that country's president for a pardon tonight, stemming from the years-long corruption trial Benjamin Netanyahu is facing. It comes just a few weeks after President Trump wrote a letter requesting just such a pardon for the prime minister, who has denied wrongdoing related to the charges of bribery, fraud, and more. Also in the Middle East tonight, Pope Leo is making a big push for peace, with huge crowds greeting him in Beirut during his first foreign trip as Pope. You see it there. On the plane from Turkey, he reiterated the Vatican's support for a two-state solution between Israelis and Palestinians. Here at home, in less than 24 hours from now, accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione will appear in court for a hearing that could be pivotal in the case against him. Ellison Barber reports.
Nearly 1 year after accused killer Luigi Mangione allegedly took his fatal shot, he's heading back to court ahead of what could be one of the most closely watched trials in decades. So closely watched that even a routine pretrial hearing is capturing attention. At the center of it, evidence from the moments he was captured inside a Pennsylvania McDonald's. The defense team arguing that Mangione was not read his Miranda rights right away, and that anything police learned in the roughly 17 minutes before then should not be allowed in court. They're also arguing that the evidence collected from his backpack, including what police describe as a 3D printed gun and a so-called manifesto, should be thrown out, since police didn't have a search warrant.
If you're a part of Luigi Mangione's defense team, is this a make or break moment for your case?
This is huge. And if you're part of Mangione's defense team, you need to try and get anything thrown out that is possible.
A judge approved a request from Mangione's legal team allowing him to appear in court in civilian clothing.
Part of the argument is that there is so much publicity that if he's in prison clothes, even during the pretrial hearings, that could taint the jury pool.
He'll be given 2 suits, 3 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, 5 pairs of socks, and 1 pair of shoes without laces. It's a far cry from his early court appearances in shackles, and a subtle reminder of the extraordinary public interest in the 27-year-old's murder trial. Ellison Barber, NBC News, New York.
Looking ahead now to Cyber Monday sales tomorrow, with retailers hoping they could keep up the momentum from what's already been a record-setting holiday shopping weekend. Here's Brian Chung.
After a record-breaking Black Friday, shoppers are filling their carts for the king of the online shopping season. Cyber Monday expected to bring in over $14 billion in sales this year, when experts say you'll find the best deals on apparel and computers. And retailers are hoping to add a new spin to their sales events, leaning into artificial intelligence. In the weeks leading up to peak holiday spending, ChatGPT maker OpenAI partnered with Walmart and Target.
Let's say I'm a little bit overwhelmed at which plushie I want to get my 10-year-old nephew. I can ask ChatGPT and say, hey,
let's go, baby. We back. Good morning. We back in the building with another podcast vlog. This is RDP, aka Rodo Podcast Vlog, and I'm your host, Hand 5000. I'm in the building. So, man, I'm not going to be here long. I'm going to get in and out of here, man. We got Luigi Mangione on that. And then that Stockton, California shooting. That was a massacre. And there's so much stuff being said about it. I don't know. I'm going to get into that. I just want to just do my thing. Right now, this was a big ambush.
Should these glasses be illegal in the U.S.?
I mean, this was a big ambush, man. And if you just tap it in, it's been 10, from my understanding, 10 people was wounded, 4 dead, and I think children was involved. And they say Stockton, California, just not the place you visit when you go on the West Coast. They say it's really horrifying out there. They really said that. They said that. So it's tough. That's her.
In the deadly National Guard ambush investigation. Ramanella Lakanawal of Afghanistan facing murder in the first degree after 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom died from gunshot wounds sustained when he allegedly opened fire on her and her fellow West Virginia National Guardsman, Andrew Wolf. Over the weekend, a candlelight vigil to mourn Beckstrom, along with a solemn honor escort near the U.S. Capitol. Wolf, who is only 24, remains at a D.C. area hospital with serious wounds.
Andrew is fighting for his life right now.
The FBI has interviewed family and associates of the 29-year-old suspect and tried to exploit documents and other material obtained through searches of mobile devices, his social media footprint, and properties tied to him.
We believe he could have been radicalized in his home community and in his home state.
But thus far, authorities have not publicly released any specific evidence tying the suspect to a specific terrorist organization. And while the investigation into potential terrorism ties remains active, officials say they're also seeing signs of financial stress and a potential mental health crisis. Telling ABC News, Laka Nawal was vetted by and worked with the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. He was brought into the U.S. under the Biden administration in 2021 through the program Operation Allies Welcome, and was granted asylum by the Trump administration in April. Armed Forces sources telling ABC News he was unemployed and deeply impacted by the death of one of his Afghan commanders. Sources say in recent days he had been isolated and increasingly distant from family and friends.
The suspect remains hospitalized under heavy guard. In the wake of the attack, President Trump has halted all asylum applications.
Yes. That boy Luigi, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's gonna be a big trial, bro. Cause the boy Luigi, bro, he going, bro. He going to prison. I mean, they making a big thing about it, like it's gonna be hard to like smash him out. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like that shit ain't no joke, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, you know, that shooting, yo, that Stockton, California shit. I want to dig into that. Let's find out what they talking about, because I know everybody was jumping on top of that story, but that shit said a mass shooting, bro. Like you know, and then when you think about mass shooting in California, bro, like you damn sure, you know what I mean. And when you think about California, period, you thinking they saying Stockton like a town like Camden, New Jersey, a small old town that is bananas. So I don't know if that's a town for the Spanish or blacks. I'm not sure, but yeah. Let's see what they talk about.
21-year-old. Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi also said the 8-year-old was a student at Stockton Unified, and also said she has reached out to the White House and the Department of Justice about combating crime in her city. The sheriff's office has determined the shooting was targeted and was not random. Your reporter, Tori Apodaca, is at the scene and spoke to a family of the 21-year-old killed in this mass shooting. Tori.
Steve, the mood out here is just somber in Stockton. Over my left shoulder, you can see bullet holes in the building that was hit with gunfire, and over my right, that growing memorial for the victims in this. Like you mentioned, I did speak with the aunt of the 21-year-old victim who showed up to a prayer vigil today, searching for peace in the midst of the chaos.
For mothers that are weeping this day, for children whose lives are lost. My nephew was one of those that was shot yesterday.
11 people were shot. So in the midst of this, 11 people were shot. 4 was killed in Stockton, California. The mayor in Stockton, California want that help. Now that's what I'm saying. You know, you got some spots that say they don't want they want the National Guard out that joint.
21-year-old.
I think it was a Latino community too.
One of the 4 victims in a mass shooting at a child's birthday party. 15 struck by gunfire, an 8, 9, and 14-year-old among the others killed. Susano's aunt, Patricia Flores, choosing to turn to Christ and her community in her grief.
It gives me hope.
So this was a Spanish community where this shooting happened at.
The family's not alone.
Hit that notification button, super violate that like button, please.
Party, saying it's a blessing they were in the bathroom when the bullets went flying.
I guess she just heard shots and she just stayed there until she didn't hear anything.
Senior pastor Aya Luna Garza happened to be in the shopping center just 30
So this was in an actually Latino community.
My guess is that I saw people that were there that were greatly affected.
Her heartbreak leading her to hold the prayer vigil at her church, hoping to bring light in the midst of darkness.
I can tell you that you get the death penalty for that.
To be present.
We need to be able to step up and say, hey, we see you,
I'm
we
telling
love
you,
you.
that
we're here with you,
shit.
and we're willing to help make a
11
change in
people
this city.
shot, 4 dead
Change
at
that
children.
these
That's a
children's
death penalty
families
case.
wish could have come sooner.
Yeah.
Why
I'm
would
keeping it real
somebody
with you.
do
It's a
that?
death penalty
If you're
case.
angry, why take
Definitely
care of
going death penalty.
innocent
Definitely
people
going on
that
death
have
row.
nothing to do with whatever
You can
problem
never.
it is
California still got
that's
death
got you to
row.
do something like this.
Yeah.
Praying for healing.
California still has death row. 4 people dead, 11 wounded at a kids' party. Y'all was that mad that y'all wanted that revenge that bad that y'all shot up a kids' party.
And Steve, at this point,
God of mine.
we have not gotten the identities of those other 3 victims in this shooting from last night. We are still checking into on the condition of the other people who were shot in this. Of course, though, we have been seeing across Stockton today and even beyond just so many coming together in prayer, saying that they will not stand for this type of violence here.
Yeah, this mass shooting hitting so many homes there in Stockton, and our hearts go out to those families. I got to ask you, it seems so quiet out there tonight, such a stark contrast to the chaos last night. What have you seen at this shooting scene since you've been there tonight?
Yeah, it is definitely just a stark contrast, Steve. We couldn't even get this close last night. The crime scene kept getting pushed back. The surrounding area around it where they had the crime scene tape up. We've been seeing people just showing up, kind of stopping by and laying down their candles for those victims. Still a whole lot of questions about what went down out here last night.
No question. All right, Tori Apodaca live in Stockton for us tonight. Thanks, Tori.
That boy is Stockton, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I just damn. I could imagine.
If you live in a Maryland zip code,
I could imagine just being at a kid's party, shooting the bobo, laid back, enjoying it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Go on. Some crimes just be committed, be dumb as shit, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
All right,
This
so
definitely
I'm an
was
information
gang.
officer with the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. My name is Heather Brent. Limited information that I can provide at this time. I'm going to refer to my notes, though. Shortly before 6 o'clock p.m. tonight, our dispatch received reports of possible gunshots near the 1900 block of Lucille Avenue. What we have confirmed at this time is that there was a banquet hall where a family was celebrating. We have 14 victims of this shooting. 4 of those are deceased. The victims have been transported to local hospitals throughout the area.
Yes,
This
it
is a
is,
very
bro.
active and ongoing investigation. Information remains very limited at this time. Early indications suggest that this may be a targeted incident. Investigators are exploring all possibilities at this time. Detectives are working diligently to determine the circumstances leading up to this incident. We are urging anyone with information, whether it's videotape, surveillance, maybe you're in the area and you saw something, to please contact the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. Our number 1 priority right now is identifying the suspect in this incident. We're very grateful for our local law enforcement agencies. We have called out several agencies to come in and assist, including Manteca Police Department, Stockton PD. We've got the District Attorney's Office. We have the FBI. Again, our number 1 priority is ensuring that we find that suspect and hold them accountable. Ages range from juvenile to adult. I don't have specific ages that I can release at this time. That's under investigation at this time. To my understanding, and again, I'll correct this if needed, but to my understanding that the victims were inside of the banquet hall. I'll have to provide that at a later time. To my understanding, it was a family gathering. That's information that's coming in at this time. I do not have that to confirm. We're working to locate the suspect at this time. That's information that we'll have to confirm at a later time. I don't have that information for you at this time.
I could tell you that's something that I wouldn't want to go to jail for.
We will not be releasing that information at this time. Everything is under investigation. So behind us, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a Dairy Queen. Inside that parking area, there is a banquet hall.
I want to know is any suspects in this shit, bro. Because this is just
breaking news from CBS 13.
So yeah, that was the rapper shot and killed there too. Stockton rapper. So he was Spanish. So this was a targeted
If you
attack.
live in a Maryland
This
zip code and have
alright.
0 DUIs in the last 5 years,
I think this was some Spanish boys yacking, and you know they don't got no policy to it. You think we go hard, they go hard. Like whatever revenge they wanted, they got that. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. This is a Spanish rapper, bro. Mexican preferably. Yep. That's what's a lot. That's a lot out California. Mexicans is Stockton. Now I'm gonna ask my little cousin Johnny, like what part was Stockton like? Cause they said Stockton like the slums. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it was a rapper that was killed. So it was probably it's a 95.5, a 95.9% chance that the Stockton people this was gang related. I really believe this. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that because I'm just looking at it. You know what I mean? And one thing that I'm gonna go into culture real quick. One thing about I heard something. And listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the ghetto, you got 75% of the ghetto where I come from, the slums all over across the world that don't be feeling Charleston white. Straight up and down, right? Then you got the 25% that be feeling them, right? And something that Loon said on his podcast, because him and Academic is into it. Loon said that Charleston got two sides to him. It's the side when he's a character, and it's the side when he being a man. Us from Baltimore, you know, Mama speak for my area. We don't think he being a man, never. You get what I'm saying? We think he out of order. But I always tell my man keeping it a G, I said, yo, some things he be making sense. One thing that Charleston said before he got viral, right? When I used to watch him on Facebook, he said, and this is true, he said black people never been known for doing certain type of crimes. Black people ain't been known just to be doing mass shootings and shit like that, and you know, going up to schools. That ain't our MO. You have black people that haven't done that, ain't our MO. That's the Italians. We look at these movies, the Italians do some cold-blooded killings. The Mexicans, you get what I'm saying? They do some cold-blooded killings. These people do some cold-blooded stuff. You get what I'm saying? To their own people. You get what I'm saying? Now, of course, we remember Baltimore had a big case, the Hot Boy shooting went down at a cookout. You know, a bunch of people got shot. We have had these incidents in state to state. But one thing for sure and two things for certain, I learned by just doing media and just watching hella documentaries. Yo, them people don't have no respect for life. You can't really get us black dudes full deep and say we just gonna go shoot up a party. You know what I mean? Even somebody gonna step up and say, man, I'm not about to go do that dumbass shit. There's kids involved. Them people look for revenge. You understand what I'm saying? That's why that's horrifying like that, bro. That's for real. A party, a kid's party, you pull up and put in work, Jack. And you ain't, and listen what I'm saying. When you put in work, this is what I'm saying. Real, this is what the black man is known for, right? This is the black man is known for. The walk downs. You know what I mean? Walk downs and really just getting active. Them people known for saying everybody got something to do with it. The mafia, if they hit the father, they go hit the son because they go think the son gonna come back with revenge. They sent them boys on a mission. Whatever gang was involved in this, on a mission and go out there and work. And them idiots went out there and worked. I don't know if it's a Asian community, because a lot of y'all that's not familiar with culture, and being as though I lived in one of those states like New York, I'm saying, like, yo, them shit in Baltimore, we don't pay no mind. I gotta be honest with you, we don't pay no mind because it never spotted out of control here. Asian gangs, Spanish gangs, they're around, but they not around like heavy like they are in Sacramento, Seattle, Washington, Utah, Denver. You know what I'm saying? The Midwest and the West Coast. We don't really go through that in Baltimore, DC area. We don't really go through that. You get what I'm saying? When you get up Philly, you got mixed cultures. You get to New Jersey, it start changing skin tones up there. So they got stuff you never heard of. Down here in Baltimore, it's Bloods, Crips, BGF. That's about it, bro. DMI. That's about it, bro. We don't really know nothing about nothing else. Anything else is uncivilized to us. But these Mexicans, though, the different organization and gangs and the Mexican dudes have no remorse for life. Their OG will send them up in there to go do that, bro. Just like them Arab dudes putting, stuff in, putting planes in buildings. These dudes, what I always call are suicide bombers. You know what I mean? And when you in that gang world, yo, nobody off limits, bro. And guess what? As soon as I saw this, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. As soon as I saw this, I said to myself, and this might be YouTube playing in the algorithm, knocking things out. It's just, I don't know. But I'm gonna keep it going though. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. I know one thing, and that world, them boys, they send them at you. And they don't care, bro, as long as they hit their target. And I'm like, yo, 14 people was all 14 people your target. When they went on that mission to do this shooting, did they hit their target? Was they out to get the rapper? Who were they out to get? Did they hit their target? And the sad part about this is the people that's involved in this are gonna get ranked up, meaning they're gonna go up in their rank, even if it sends them to death row. Because it's a death row case. In California, this is a death row case. In California, you could promise and count your noodles. If somebody's captured and convicted for that mass shooting in Stockton, it's hasta la vista, baby. Ain't no life sentences in it. Ain't no life sentence around that. 4 murders in the state of California is a death penalty case. I promise you it is. I promise you it is. I promise you it is. And then they say they had some witnesses. And I'm looking at the guy that was killed on here. You know what I mean? They be heavy in the shit. They be heavy. They say Stockton town is just bad. It's just bad. Hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. Leave a comment.
Wow. And so they just arrest everybody, and then how does it go from there?
They hit your house, and what they do is they hope to find something or pull you over or whatever. See, luckily they find shit at the house, like, cause I'm not stupid. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But they found a little, like, just pills, like little pills. That's it.
And they tried to give you a case for the pills or what?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay.
So that shit was easy.
But did a bunch of people get locked up in that?
Yeah, hella people got locked up just because they found I don't know what they found, whatever they found with the guns or from whoever else. But
Stockton's getting like tough on crime at this point, right? Because I've seen some shit on the news of just them talking about like little kids getting shot and shit like that, and how they're really getting serious about cracking down on crime.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a big indictment coming, I feel.
Really?
Yeah, but you feel me?
Right. Better just keep your nose clean. You didn't go. Did you like come to LA when you're growing up and shit?
No.
It's just too far away.
Yeah, but I'm so used to this drive now.
Right.
I like I was just out here the other day by myself. I drove to LA, drove back the same day. And I do that shit regular now, just driving out here and shit.
Just to link with people, or what are you doing out here for the most part?
Yeah, link, music videos, studios, and shit like that.
Now, during that time, they would also lose a close affiliate, a guy who went by Spaz, the gun violence. And that's where a war had allegedly started between them and EBK and other affiliates. See, during that time, EBK was cool with MB Nail's blood cousin, Nano, a man allegedly known for bees, as he raps, And his music, B's, allegedly stands for bodies. And some say that explains why EBK J-Bo speak on allegedly being cool with Nano until he started messing with his cousin. And that's when the back and forth came. Not only on disses, but in people's lives in the streets.
Now, Nano used to be my brother, but he fuck with niggas. You chose your side, fucking suckers, you duck with niggas. And Nano, that's my baby, you can call, there ain't no doubt. Over Nano, I won't play it, niggas know it's that. Gotta keep that fan club, niggas really want me gone. Put a couple B's on this shit before I made a song. Name ho, wait up in my section, bitch, I'm big dog. Never been a type to white flag, bitch, I'm getting up.
You see what?
Mm-hmm.
For the CBS studios in San Francisco, I'm Brian Lake.
And I'm Andrea Nakano. We start in Stockton, where a community is mourning after a deadly shooting at a children's birthday party. Police say the suspected shooter is still on the loose.
4 people were killed. 11 others were hurt in last night's shooting. It happened at a banquet hall. Police say most of the victims that were killed were children, the youngest being 8 years old. Stockton's mayor denounced the shooting on social media, calling it a, quote, pure act of terrorism. Brad Hamilton is live in Stockton tonight with the latest developments. Brad?
Yeah, Brian, the sheriff's office wouldn't go that far, wouldn't go as far as the mayor, but they did call this a targeted attack. They don't have any suspects just yet. No one has been arrested, but this community is grieving tonight. We saw a vigil earlier today as people remember the lives of 4 people, including 3 children that were attending the birthday party when this happened. On Lucille Avenue in Stockton, Saturday night, a rented banquet hall was filled with families celebrating a child's birthday. But just after 6 o'clock, that celebration turned into chaos.
Last night, about 5:30, we heard gunshots, probably about 20 or 30, rapid fire.
Brett Terrell lives just down the street from where investigators say the shooting happened. He says the gunfire was so fast, no one had a chance to make sense of it.
Moms, parents, relatives, everybody is kind of running around frantically trying to find their family members. And then they started pulling out people, and there was a lot of CPR going on and a lot of ambulances coming and going.
The San Joaquin Sheriff's Office confirmed the ages of the 4 victims killed: 3 children, ages 8, 9, and 14, and a young adult, 21 years old. There are 11 other victims still in the hospital, but their conditions are unknown at this time. As for the suspect or suspects, none have been arrested so far. Earlier this afternoon, the mayor of Stockton released a statement on Facebook saying, quote, gang violence exists in cities across the country, but this act was a pure act of terrorism, a complete cowardly terrorist act. Public Information Officer Heather Brent says they're being deliberate about what they release, not wanting to jeopardize their work identifying who opened fire.
We do not want our community to think that they're at danger. We do not believe that they are. We believe that this is a targeted incident.
But for neighbors, what they saw was terrifying regardless of motive. A second witness, who asked to remain anonymous, arrived as families were running towards the building, trying to find their kids.
When I was passing, there was like family members getting to the scene, asking, where are my kids? Like, kids just started running out. We're missing them. Where are they? Do you guys know anything?
He told us, whatever the dispute may have been, children should never be caught in the middle.
I don't know, even if it's between neighborhoods, you don't come to a kid's party. Do this, you know. They got their way of settling stuff, but not a kid's party.
And for Terrell, a lifelong resident, what he saw last night has him rethinking everything.
Live your life. It makes you second guess where you're at. Makes you kind of wonder where you're going and what the future is going to bring. It's scary.
Tonight, detectives remain at what they call a massive and complex crime scene, methodically working to collect every piece of evidence to get answers for so many that are devastated by this tragedy.
We do not have a time frame, and time is not of our concern right now. Our number one priority is ensuring that we locate all evidence, that we do not leave one stone unturned.
So right behind us was the crime scene, and now everything is opened back up. So investigators, as far as a crime scene and really being on scene here, they have kind of ended that portion of it, but they're still asking anyone out there with information to give it to them, especially surveillance video. They said that could be key. Again, no one's been arrested just yet, but it appears the sheriff's office is very confident that they're going to get that resolved soon.
Brad, I am curious. It's been more than 24 hours now since the shooting. I know law enforcement, I guess around 4 o'clock this afternoon, there had a press conference, but I am a little perplexed by the fact that now going on a day, they haven't even released a description of a suspect.
Brian, I was kind of taken aback by the same thing. I mean, we spoke with them multiple times today. It was the same update. From what I could tell, everything is just basically being close to the vest, which makes you either think that they're a long ways from figuring this out or they have people in mind. But I did notice tonight the sheriff talked about multiple people. We hadn't heard that before. It sounded like one suspect before, but now it appears multiple people are possible interests to the sheriff's department. So hopefully that gets figured out sooner rather than later. I know this community would like that very much so.
Yeah, I would think if the community had a description of the suspects, that would help them, help law enforcement track these guys down. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. In Stockton, that's Brad Hamilton. Brad, thanks very much, Andrea.
Well, we are.
David, the movie.
I will not be afraid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
D.C. involving 2 West Virginia National Guard troops. The attack unfolding just blocks from the White House, with officials saying in just the last few minutes they are in critical condition right now. What we know so far as the new details are pouring in. Then if you're hitting the road or taking to the skies, it could be a rough start to your Thanksgiving. Everything from weather to fires to airline mishaps, slowing things down for millions. Plus, with Thanksgiving just a day away, experts say $1 trillion holiday shopping season is around the corner for the first time ever. How you can maximize the savings when Black Friday rolls around. And the disturbing images coming out of Hong Kong tonight after a high-rise fire killed at least 36 people. Why that number could rise by the hundreds. And in tonight's original, the new technology dubbed the human avatar. People who are paralyzed are calling it a gift. That's later in the show. Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Snow in for Hallie tonight. And right now we are following that breaking news out of Washington, where 2 National Guard troops are in critical condition after being shot on the eve of Thanksgiving, just blocks from the White House. This is the scene in Northwest D.C. right now. As we're learning in just the last few moments, the Army has gotten a request to deploy an additional 500 National Guard troops to the nation's capital as the FBI assists with this investigation. The whole thing unfolding in this area that you see on the map, 17th and I Street Northwest. Police say the scene has now been secured and that a suspect is in custody. We believe that is the only suspect involved in this shooting. Authorities say that person was shot by a National Guardsman as the whole thing unfolded. The president posting on Truth Social that an animal, in his words, shot the 2 National Guardsmen, and saying that person will pay a steep price. Important to note, the president is not at the White House right now. He's at Mar-a-Lago for the Thanksgiving holiday. The vice president is in Fort Campbell in Kentucky, and here he is addressing the matter in just the last hour.
What we do know is that a couple of National Guardsmen were injured in the line of duty. And first of all, I want everybody who's a person of faith to say a prayer for those 2 National Guardsmen, that they're able to spend Thanksgiving with their families instead of losing their lives, because I understand they're still in pretty tough condition.
Kelly O'Donnell is in West Palm Beach, where the president is tonight. Courtney Cubie is following developments on this as well. Courtney, let me go to you first. I know it's really very early to know anything about a motive at this point. Where does this investigation go? What do we know right now?
Yeah, we just got a little maybe potential window into what might have been, that this might have been a targeted action. And that was from the press conference that we just had here in DC moments ago. that included law enforcement officials and DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser, where they did use the word targeted here. Now, it appears, according to one of the DC police law enforcement officials, that the individual walked up towards these National Guard. There were at least 3 of them there at the time, and raised what appeared to be a handgun and opened fire on them. Now, what's not clear is who shot the suspect. That's still under investigation, according to the press conference. We do know that there were at least 2 National Guard members who were injured in this, who were shot in this. Kate, there's been some conflicting information about exactly their status. It does appear at this point, despite earlier reporting, including from the governor of West Virginia, it does appear that they both remain.
Man, I had a phone call, so that's like what I call my commercial break. That's my commercial break, not nobody else commercial break. CW, let me see this message that's viewed up for things. Sometimes y'all just be putting stuff in somebody put. You can show boy, call me Cracks. My bad, yo. Call me Cracks. 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 My bad, yo. Thanks for putting me on point. I don't have stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's real. All right, man. We was just talking about that Stockton shooting joint, and you know, it's just down to the nitty gritty at this point. You know, that shooting in Stockton, California, was left 4 dead. A total of 14 people were shot, 10 were wounded, and 4 was left dead. I think it was gang related. Hispanic rapper was killed in the incident. Man, I don't know, man. You get what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? But please hit that notification. Super violate that like button. Y'all gotta stop playing with me, man. And super violate that like button. I didn't even get into my mojo, but I get into my mojo. My bad, man. I did just do. Man, one thing about me, man, I don't do the crack thing. Let me get my pants right, man. You know, you sit in the chair and then you know your pants right down, baby. But I'm gonna get it right, bro. You know what I'm saying? No cracks in it, you know what I mean? No more crack shows. You know what I mean? That's it. No more crack shows, but yeah, you know, that's when your pants ride up a little bit. And we had to pull them up, man. Shout out to I don't know, y'all be having so many weird names. I can't read it like that, bro. I don't know, man. Shout out to guy M1LK. Shout out for putting me on point, man. Definitely. But yeah, that's a tragedy, man. And it's the update, bro. Somebody, boy, good God Almighty. The consequences for that shit is different. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Consequences for that shit is different. This is the latest update on that.
Mass shooting in Stockton.
Tonight, Stockton is hurting. Parents are hurting.
Gunfire interrupting a kid's birthday party, claiming young lives.
We're doing PCR on one possible 12-year-old.
Tonight, as a search for those responsible continues.
There appears to be multiple shooters, but once again, we've gathered all the evidence. We're processing it.
Calls are growing to make Stockton safer.
On the set, we are going to do something.
It's the Black and the Latino community.
To uplift our community.
Prayer alone is not going to make these streets safe. Vigils and we've done that before.
And thank you for joining us on Late News Tonight at 11. I'm Nazi Javid, continuing our breaking news coverage of the Stockton mass shooting. Tonight, at least 4 people are dead, including 3 children, after bullets ended a kid's birthday party. In all, 15 people were shot. It happened around 6 o'clock Saturday night at a banquet hall on Louisville Avenue near Thornton Road. Investigators say tonight they believe this shooting was targeted and that there were multiple shooters. There have been reports of gang-related arrests overnight, but the San Joaquin Sheriff's Office confirms to ABC 10 that no one is in custody yet connected to the shooting. Here was the sheriff just hours ago.
I am confident in our team and with the work that we have done so far, that we will find these animals that did this and bring them to justice. But we still need the public's help on this. We need everyone who has any information on this to reach out to us. This is a time for our community to show that we will not put up with this type of behavior where people will just walk in and kill children.
Strong words. And if you have any information about what happened and possible suspect information, you should call Stockton Crime Stoppers. The number is up on your screen now, 209-946-0600. Again, that's 209-946-0600. You can leave a tip anonymously. Thousands of dollars in rewards is being offered. And this is video from the scene today as investigators continue to collect evidence. And here is what we know about the victims tonight. For those who did not survive, their ages are 8, 9, 14, and 21. The county says their names will not be released at this time. And today,
8,
investigators
9,
announced
14,
one more
and
person
21.
was hurt in the shooting, bringing the number of those injured to at least 11. 2 area hospitals confirmed to ABC 10 they have shooting victims in their care. At least one 9-year-old is being treated. New tonight, at least one of the children killed attended a Stockton Unified School. The school district put out a statement tonight saying in part, quote, "As educators, we hurt deeply anytime a child is hurt. We hold the student's family in our hearts and we grieve alongside them and our entire community to help ensure our students and staff receive the care they need. SUSD has counselors and mental health clinicians at every one of our schools. We stand with all who are impacted by this tragedy, and we remain committed to supporting our community during this heartbreaking time." And in Stockton tonight, hundreds gathered across the street from the shooting site to pray and plea for change. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias leads our coverage tonight from Stockton with the emotional response to this senseless tragedy.
Nazi, for the first time since Saturday night's shooting, we're able to take an up-and-close look at the entrance of this so-called banquet hall. And if you zoom in, you can actually see what we counted to be more than 25 bullet holes.
Just to have silence and to remember all of those that were affected.
For 20 seconds, a crowd of mourning Stockton community members stood in silence and in unity to reflect on 15 people shot at a family gathering Saturday night.
And today I come with mixed emotions. And if I can be honest, I'm mad as hell. I'm not just here only wanting to come to a visual, but I come with frustration. I come with rage. I come with anger. I'm mad as hell that an 8-year-old, that a 9-year-old, that a 14-year-old, that a 21-year-old was killed in our city.
Yeah, and that's really, really tragic, bro, because, you know, this is a message to the youth. And then I'll get into Luigi. You know, I went all over the place. You know, rest in peace to that guardsman, you know, National Guards from Virginia that lost their life. And rest in peace to those children that lost their life. You know, when you pick up a weapon and you're looking for your enemy, and your enemy is a crowded area, go back and look at the movie Scarface, or go look at some great movies where it's women and children right there. We can't do that. Not right now. We got to get them later. That's, you know, those kids didn't deserve that. Those kids didn't deserve that. Those kids didn't deserve that. And when you do ignorant shit like that, you're going to be brought to justice. And when you brought to justice, you're going to do your time. And nobody can feel bad for you because you ain't have no common sense to say, yo, we got to do this another time. This ain't the time and place for that. And it's sad. And I think it's going to be a death penalty case. I truly, honestly think it's going to be a death penalty case. And hey, listen, don't get it twisted. Who's to say that these individuals that's involved didn't do it right? But they gonna tear that motherfucking little small city up and down. They gonna tear it up and down for answers because children's involved. You know, it's beyond gang things. You know, believe it or not, most gang, you know, violence and most street violence, it's like if they don't have nobody coming forward to cooperate, they kind of leave it alone. Because at the end of the day, that's what you individuals out here doing. You individuals out here getting into stuff, and death in prison is a part of your life. But these women, children, and elderly who don't have nothing to do with your life are getting killed. That's a problem with prosecutors on the state and federal level. That's a problem with the police department. That's a problem with the community. You know what I mean? So when you see crimes like this occur and things like this happen, everybody, the whole community turned against you. A crime for a crime. Hey, he wears orange, he wears yellow. They've been doing this dumb shit back and forth. People get hurt. People are hurt. But they say, man, hey, you make your bed, you lay in it. But if we enjoying a beautiful time, a child celebrating their birthday, music playing, it's a bunch of people in here that don't got nothing to do with the outside world, the gang world, and the criminal activities. So therefore, why would you go and do that in that spot to hurt everybody? And the only justification, if there's any justification that I would think that one would say, is that I had a problem with everybody in there. I ain't care who I hit. Because there's no remorse to that. It's like, I didn't care who I hit. It was a mission, and that's what we was on. And that's the outcome, a bloody outcome with 15 people being wounded and 4 being deceased. And that's, to me, that's no badge of honor. That's nothing, bro, but a tragedy that's gonna cost you. And even if you get away with this, you gotta live with that for the rest of your life, knowing that you hurt it. Oh, 9-year-old, 8-year-old kid, 8-year-old fat. Okay, regardless if they know about gang activities, because kids are smart, they're not old enough to be in the gang. They're not old enough to be recognized in the gang. Because I don't know, things are different. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm gonna post this message up there. YouTube blocked you. All right, you say shit. Women, children, and elderly been banging too. Not saying these kids were doing stuff, but all these women, elderly, and children, and my family more likely to catch the Rico than any other gang out here. Man, listen. Women, right, can be involved as an adult, but in certain states, California particularly, you have a huge women population of gang members, but also you have a population of older people, and the older people there, regardless if you know what I mean. Hold on 1 second, y'all. My brother calling me. So let me get back to your question. The Rico than any gigs out here. So all right, women and children, women can be involved, right? They're man involved. They can grow up in a gang thing. That's cool. Elderly people grow to be OGs. That's a fact, though. When an elderly person is an OG, they kind of like put on a pedestal. I don't think in this matter that if you're going to go hit women and elderly old OGs, fine and dandy. But you can't convince me that a 8 and a 9-year-old hold that much rank in a gang that they should be murdered, because they're just learning it. So it's no justification in going and shoot them children. And in a gang mind, it might be a justification of get back for murders that really happening. But at the end of the day, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And because of this, it's probably been 50 murders in the last 90 days in Stockton. But this the one that made the news. This the one that's going to bring the problems in. This the one that's prime. I mean, kid boys, man, kid boys are no different from dudes rough riding and doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know how the kid boys got some issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's y'all. You threw me off with the kid boys. I don't know nothing about that. But kids jumping off the porch at 6 and 7 years old, yo, listen to this, bro. Kids can jump off the porch at 6 and 7 years old. Listen to what I'm saying. They don't hold no weight in the gang at 6 or 7 years old. It's just a follow the leader type shit. The 11-year-old that's in the gang, it's not that serious, bro. And I don't care what nobody say. 6, 7 years old, you're a follower. You're a follower. You're a follower. You don't know no better. Your father, your people do it. That don't mean you should die. That don't mean you should die. That don't mean that you didn't even hit double numbers yet. They 8 and 9 years old, didn't even have double numbers yet. They don't even understand what the fuck a gang is, regardless if they could spit it or not. They don't understand the significance of it. They don't. They don't. Dude, you're not that bright at 8, 9 years old and not that bright to take a bullet. I can't agree with you on that, bro. I don't know. Like, that don't even make sense. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm saying that where I come from, listen, where I come from, women done committed murder, women done committed robbery, women done set people up. But the ratio of women like that versus it's not a lot. Here in Maryland, it's 1 women prison. So that means that goes to show you how many women go to prison. You get what I'm saying? Every state doesn't have 50 and 60 women prison because women don't get in trouble like that. So even if it's some women at the gang joints, bro, like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. There's a lane for that, bro. We cannot justify idiots shooting 15 people at a party, regardless if they was gang. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely out of our hands by desire of state because, you know, we in Baltimore. We in the 2121, you know what I mean? We in Baltimore, 410-443-667-301 close by. Yes. And I'm speaking from a Baltimore standpoint. So when I speak on these global, you know what I mean, worldly topics, bro, I just be giving an opinion. It doesn't make it right because, you know, I get in California that the gang tradition and the gang mentality is embedded in the concrete. The gangs grow out of palm trees in California. So I get what you saying. You know, I don't care if it's a 70-year-old person, you know, they liable to grew up in the gang, grandma in the gang, grandfather in the gang. Cool. But it's a thing that I know from just, you know, being around that it's active people. And, you know, I never just seen too many gang members like, you know, put their kids on the line like that. You get what I'm saying? You know, it's all about your leadership. Any true leader gonna tell you, man, listen, man, a true leader might tell you, I don't give a F about a chick. Man, don't hit no old people and women, regardless if they OG or not, don't do it. You get what I'm saying? It don't make sense. And I'm just saying at an event hall, a party might, it's California, a party might have 10, 15 active gang members there, but do the rest of the people have to pay the price for that? No. I mean, I say that on the movie. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. Never support dumb shit in gang. Nah, man, yeah. You right about that. You feel what I'm saying? You right. I agree with you. I'm heartbroken about that, even though it wasn't something in my community. It just was, it's sad, bro, because yo, it hurt. Fuck all that. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt for me being in the streets most of my life and was fortunate enough to make it out the streets and been out the streets the last 6, 7 years. And keeping it ahead is hard because that's what I'm used to. And you know, the trials and tribulations and the struggle of the streets. But you know, when I got out the streets and cleared my head, not doing drugs, I would do smoke weed and sip occasionally. But to clear my head and take a step back and look at what I was for 30 years of my life is really heartbreaking. See, this is the thing that I want to speak about when street dudes leave the streets and go look at the streets. So you got one set of eyes when you in the streets. You don't see nothing but the streets, ways, streets, politics, streets, everything. Then you look that, you think and you look and you breathe that way. But when you lucky enough to make it out the streets, whether you make it out the streets during a bunch of time, where you make it out the streets and you be successful, where you make it out the streets and you become in a wheelchair, whether you make it out the streets and you just become a regular Joe, your set of eyes are totally different than they was in the streets. You be like, damn, I can't believe that I was stupid like this. I see, me personally as a grown man, I see how I went to jail so many times. I see how. Because I sit and I ride, I drive, I move around, and I look, be like, dang. I can almost tell you everything motherfuckers doing because that's how sloppy it is. All the time I used to just think they, even though in the 1900s, you know, I grew up that 1990, because I called my first charge when I was 11 years old in 1990. And from 1990 all the way to 2020, bro, that's when I got off of probation, parole, and was done with the system. It took me all the way from 11 years old to fucking 40 years old, in and out of jail, in and out of problems, seeing POs and all that shit. They honestly could tell, I could honestly sit here and tell you, they made me a believer. We can't beat them. We cannot beat the judicial system. We cannot beat them, bro. They win every time in that motherfucking courtroom, bro. Because even if you get time and you go and you, even just say you get locked up for a wrongful crime and you do 30 years and they give you $30 million for sitting in jail, boy, they took 30 years of your life. They won, whether they were right or wrong. They compensated you. They gave you the money back that they made off of you while you was incarcerated and sent you back out here. I ain't seen nobody beat the system, bro. I haven't. You do not beat the system if you serve any day of jail time. You don't beat the system if you serve any day of jail time. Ain't no way. You're not beating the system because they win. They make money off you. They get you to pay. They get you to get a lawyer. They win. So what I learned and what helped me get out the streets and what helped me mature and grow up is I can't beat them. And I'm damn sure not joining them. So all I got to do, I had to understand, I'm going to get away from them by obeying the fucking law. I don't like the laws, but I gotta obey them because at the end of the day, prison is not a real thing. Death a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I lost friends from every aspect of life. I lost friends from drinking, from overdoses, from diseases. You know what I mean? From police killing them to each other killing each other. I lost friends on every aspect of where you could lose a person. You know? So it's like, man, when you see that shit and you look at that shit, it's like, oh, I can't gangbang or I can't be a drug. I can't be a street dude forever because it's a heartless environment and it makes a good-hearted, kind, well-respected, round person become an addict in the streets. And you could be an addict selling drugs or you could be an addict using drugs. You become a different person from what your mother pushed out her womb. You become a different person. It's a fucking beast that you would never understand unless you've been in there. It's an eternal fire that stay lit till you find some way to put it out. And it's a lot of us that didn't put it out. It's a lot of us that ends up dead because of this. Deceased because of this. It's a lot of us that do a lot of jail time. It's a lot of people that won't get out of jail because of the streets and the streets mentality, the drug use, the mental, everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a psychological warfare in the streets. And because of the psychological warfare and the absent fathers, absent moms, the blind leading the blind, idiots leading the idiots, you have mass shootings in the name of gangs. You have mass shooting in the name of retaliations. You have shootings in the name of blocks. You have shootings in the name of respect. You have shootings because this is a 50-year ongoing problem. That's just the way it is. And now some innocent children that had the opportunity because somebody said, oh, kids 6, 7 years old jumping off the porch being in gangs. Hey, if your life wasn't cut short with a bullet at 7 years old, it's a possibility you probably don't want to gangbang at 14 when you get a little older. You know, when you get older, as you're 7 years old, you don't watch the same cartoons that you watched at 14. You don't do the same thing you did at 7 at 14. 7-year difference. You know what I mean? You don't do the same thing. Not even from 5 to 10, from when you was playing as a kid that's 5 years old, and you playing as a kid to 10 years old. You get what I'm saying? You don't be the same kid. At first, you can give a kid a bunch of toys on the Christmas tree. By the time they turn 11, 12 years old, you can pipe it down to the bigger things that they want. Might cost a little bit of money, but it ain't a whole big thing. That's just it. So I will never, ever, ever in my life agree with kids getting shot. I would never, ever agree in my life to hurting elderly people, you know what I mean? Mentally unstable people, disabled people, or women, especially if the women are not involved in the criminal activity. If you're involved in the criminal activity, you are involved. But nobody's considering the kid involved in this shit because a kid can't do much. Come on. A kid can't do much. You good? A kid can't do much. Yes, my bad, y'all. My bad. Interrupted by Pink Panther. The Dark Knight. I'm confused. Yo, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. But never in my life will I ever agree to be. Never in my life would I ever agree for children to be in that, bro. Like, I don't care about that. This isn't a modern problem. It's an ongoing 400 years plus. We didn't have gangs, bro. 400 years straight. We didn't have this problem in the community. We had this problem in the community with gangs and going against each other after the civil rights movements, preferably after a lot of dudes came from Vietnam and the heroin in the 70s, in the 60s, the 50s, and the 40s. Man, we was locked in, and wasn't that killing like that in the African American community because it was taking village to raise children. In the 40s, the 30s, we had great people come out of our culture like Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, W.D. Du Bois. We had great people come, Reverend Jesse Jackson. We had great speakers come in that area of the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s that introduced a disco. It introduced the cocaine era. It introduced the heroin era. Then it came into the 80s, and then they started cooking it up, freebasing. Then it came to the 90s, and we have 2025. But I can't say 400 years this was going on because after the slavery and the defamation, whatchamacallit? So, so after that, bro, we were good, bro. Go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's places that you can go in our history book, in our modern history book, and see some true knowledgeable shit. I'm just being openly honest with you. We were good people until we were brought into these, these disadvantaged communities, these high rises. A lot of us here on the East Coast, even in California, come from the South. We come from the South. They went to these places, they moved in these ghettos, and it wasn't that. But that's another story for another episode right now. And this one thing that I can honestly say, it's not the black culture today that we're talking about. Stockton, California is home to a lot of our people of culture, but this is like a Latino community thing. Yeah, all that shit. But at one time, yo, our communities were beautiful, man. When our grandparents that been living in neighborhoods 40 and 50 years, they were beautiful at one time, bro. You know, we destroyed them. I argue with my friends all the time, and sometimes I'm guilty of it. May Allah forgive me for throwing trash where it doesn't belong. So, you know, here and there I does it. But I trust people all the time, but you gotta be careful with that. You know what I mean? Because at first I didn't understand, man. I eat a whole chicken box and it's nasty. I throw it right in the street and walk off. That was my mentality at one time. And trash just build up and build up and build up. And then and then we push it all down the sewer. And the next thing you know, it's down the hall. You know what I mean? So I understand, you know, the politics and the way that things go in the ghetto, purposely the African American community. I understand how things can get. Truly do. And this was a tragic moment, honestly, for hip hop, because a hip hop artist was then also for the community and for the city of Stockton. You know, it's sad, bro, that gang violence is taking place in the world, is getting worse inside the United States. You know, it won't give it up. To me, it's nothing wrong with you guys. You guys want to be a gang, be 300, 400 deep, man. One gang, say everybody got to get a job and go to work and make $1,000 for all 400 of us. 1,000, that's 400,000. And there's so many vacant houses, man. We may buy these vacant houses and really have safe houses in our community. We ready go in there with the paint, the measuring tape, the scaffolds, and we ready redo our community. That's when I be like, yo, that's when gangs will be unstoppable. You know what I mean? We ain't having no poison in our community. You know what I mean? We having this. Whatever we doing, we in control. We're gonna police our area. It's not gonna be violence. It's not gonna be dangerous around here. The kids gonna be able to play. People gonna be able to get up and go to work. That's a real gang. Because they handle their community, regardless of you engaging in criminal activities or not. You're doing it. You engaging in it, and you're protecting the area, and you're investing in the area. You know what I mean? Because I always said, bro, you can't get mad at people, you know, because they pick up a pipe, pick up a blunt, pick up a drink. You know what I mean? You know, people come in a community, own the liquor stores, own the restaurants. So it's more money in the community than just selling drugs. But the gangs don't have that mentality, and some do. But that mentality would just make the ghetto look better. Like when you ride down your block, man, how do you feel about how that look? Can't blame it on the man and state all the time. If it's a vacant house on the block and it's been boarded, it ain't been boarded up, man, go in that motherfucker, board it up and put some paint on it to make the area look better. That's what gangs should be teaching. Gangs should be teaching longevity and financial stability and getting an understanding of that. That's what it should be about. More because you say you willing to die for this block. You willing to retaliate for this block. So why not take care of this block? You know what I mean? That's a different flex to me. So we got the guy in the courtroom today, Luigi. You know what I mean? He's on trial, man. And so if y'all don't know who Luigi Mangione is, he is the individual from Maryland that chooses to go to New York and kills the CEO. You know, the CEO of medicine or something. And he did this, and it's his appearance today in court. I started out in the beginning, but the gang violence has got so into me that okay. So this guy, Luigi, wow. Oh man, what can I say about this guy? Luigi Mangione is Luigi is he decides that I'll be honest with you. He decides that he's gonna be God. Healthcare in America is bad. Yes, healthcare is truly bad in America. Healthcare is an issue in America. It is. This guy, Luigi Mangione, decides to leave. His mom got sick. What I know about the guy, his mom got sick. Something wrong with the healthcare. He's a guy that's pretty smart. He went to some schools. He went to some schools and he knows some things. I guess he looks up the CEO. He drives up New York. He socks the guy. Guy dies. It explodes across America. I don't think it was. I'm just going to use good time. In less than a week, it may have been days, he was caught up in parts of Pennsylvania. He got caught with the gun, some money, computer. He's locked up. It's locked up. It's been locked up for almost a year now, or maybe a little over a year. Him and Diddy and all that went down the same time. Diddy trials over. Luigi gains a crazy fan base because of this, because there's a lot of people that doesn't like our healthcare system and feels like these big CEOs and these big corporations are just fucking the people over. That's what everybody feels like, honestly. So this guy goes up there, he takes matters in his own hand. And when he takes matters in his own hand, he commits what do you call premeditated murder. Every charge you can imagine. He faces the death penalty in New York. He's federally charged. But the fan mail is rolling in because people think he's a hero. He's a hero. Now, you got us killing for blocks and killing for different things. He killed this man because of health issues that his mom had and how her health care and health insurance, fucked her over and she was really sick. I don't know if his mom passed. I'm not sure. But this is what sent him. This is my research over the years because this was interesting because he's from Maryland. Towson earlier, went to school out here. I wanted to know what was going on. You know what I mean? What made him do this? And then it comes in and he's got a fan base because people feel like these big companies are messing with people, medicine, not giving people treatment, saying that your health care don't cover that. So he has a problem with that. And he took matters into his own hands. And now he's currently incarcerated in Brooklyn, facing federal murder charge and then possibly could get the death penalty if he found guilty. So let's tap into this. And they trying to say it's a good chance with the boy. It's live. The hearing is alive. Because he's facing two levels. That's why you're going to get some camera motion. He's facing federal and state charges in New York. So you're going to get camera action. You can get the courtroom action because New York's a big place like California. They say keep the courtrooms out, but it's going to be camera. Our culture won't pay attention to this. You know what I mean? I do because I'm like weirdo nerd, excrete guy. But I will. This thing will have the media wrapped around the pole every day of his trial. Because also he has supporters. He has supporters that love him. Look, like I told you, it's kind of empty right now out there. It's live. So look, it's like, so he's in federal court. So one thing, feds don't play the games. But, I thought it'd be lit around there. So people are standing out there like Diddy trial. But it ain't the crowd like Diddy trial. But they got it blocked off a little bit. If you look at it, I'm looking at it. They got it blocked off to the point to where as though you'll see it. You'll see that they get busy. You know what I mean? Like straight up. Yeah, that's that big courthouse. They got a big old courthouse in New York. All the buildings are huge in New York. Like I love New York, but I'm not the person that goes to New York and do this. I still might do that, but I'm not in shock of the buildings no more in New York. I've been to New York. I've been to New York so many times. Like I've been to New York just as many times as I've been to shit. Like I've been to New York because I don't go at all now. It's been years. I've been to New York as many times as I've been to the local McDonald's. And I've been to McDonald's a lot. I don't eat McDonald's food unless it's a fish fillet or a soft drink. I don't mess with nothing else in it. Not even the fries like that. It was the fish fillet is probably it. That's the only thing I could ever see myself getting. I could never get nothing else. I swear, it's not nothing I could do. It's not nothing cool I could do or see. You know, that's just real. But it's nothing going on right now. So this is something that I gotta go live streaming later because even Fox there, everybody's there, but nobody's really talking. People in the courtroom. Like this is a live coverage, so you got people in the courthouse with cameras, but not in the courtroom. So we're not going to see them shackled up. But I wanted them to say, nah, I don't want nothing from 22 hours ago. We need stuff from 22 minutes ago. Yeah, so Luigi Mangione is in court. Nothing's going on. I can honestly say nothing's going on. But now I could do my favorite part of the podcast. I had let's get into it. So I get around some hip hop news for my hip hop people. You know, my hip hop. Come on, man! Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. My hip hop people, tap in. Game and Whack 100. Game has fired Whack 100 as his manager, and Whack 100 begins to throw blows. And you know what I mean? I like Game. Game's my guy. I'm a fan of Game. Game been in a little shit, but lately Game been chilling. And then you know we not on the West Coast, so yeah, here it is. This is real. And I know this is gonna blow over. I mean, this is gonna go to No Jumper. YouTube. Everybody's got their opinion. You know, this is different. Wax back in here. Everybody's talking about this. Dang. I'm trying to get because these vlogs I didn't get into it like too heavy, but let's see, man. Let's go with the most popular one. You know, if y'all don't know, Whack 100 is Whack 100. Wow, dude. Like, wow, dude. Like, wow. I don't really know much about it. I want to get to it.
Each other like that. Now, last night, the game did a stream with Neon. If you guys don't know who that is, Neon is a streamer. He collabs with different artists, athletes, but we are not going to forget his racist past. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go do your research. Last night, the game linked up with Neon. He was celebrating his birthday. And while he was on stream, shout out to this channel called Just Clips. He was the first one to realize, yo, Whack is no longer the game's manager. Once Neon pulled up to the restaurant, he was greeted by the game's new manager, Trav.
We're definitely. Maybe not a big ass light once we get inside, but just just a little, like tone it down just a little, and then we do that. Alrighty. Yep. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? I wore all black. Is this good enough?
That's good.
Is this all black?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank God.
Shout out to the game manager.
God.
Shout out to the game manager.
God.
Shout out to the game manager.
How you doing, brother? Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. Yes, sir. I'm cool to stream and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's run it. Let's go. Thank you so much. Hello, how you doing? How you doing?
Now, this is interesting because over the last couple of years, there's been rumors and whispers about the game and Whack 100 not really rocking with each other. Some people say it's because Whack 100 was part of the reason why the game lost his lawsuit, which he currently has to pay back over $7 million. Now, regardless of the rumors going around, these guys have not made it public that they don't rock with each other. And Wack 100, who has a podcast with Adam 22, and you guys know how Wack speaks on other people's business. He literally has a team on Clubhouse called the Exposers, where they expose people. But for some reason, Wack 100 has not addressed his issues with the game. And on top of that, Wack 100 has not made it public that he's no longer managing the game. So last night on Neon's stream, when fans saw somebody address themselves as the game's manager and it was not Wack 100, a lot of people were shocked. Now, I did do a little bit of research on the game's current manager. His name is Trav, and the guy has been around the industry for a bit. As a matter of fact, he used to roll with Birdman, looks like he was being mentored by him, and he also works for ADA Music, which is an independent distribution company that's under Warner. If you guys go to his Instagram page, he's been following the game to every show he has, and yes, he was there during the game's viral interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood. Now, as for Wack 100, looks like Trav and Wack 100 do know each other. So this was not some kind of blindsided move that happened. And from what it looks like, Wack 100 might have given Trav the blessings to be able to work for the game. Back in April this year, during Wack 100's birthday, Trav wished him a happy birthday. He said, "Happy birthday, sir. Right or wrong, you still my bro. Most intelligent mofo I know." Then he goes on to say, "Bro also gave me the blessings in handling something dear to him, and
I covered all the title info. I appreciate it. You hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. But on a Luigi Mangione tip, we can't. It's nothing to report, and we already reported the shooting in Stockton. You know what I'm saying? And that's what my streams are about. My streams are just multitasking, bro. I put that there. I cover my topics. And that's how I get down. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment.
is going on streams and doing interviews with different platforms." So to be honest with you guys, Wack probably felt like, yo, I've been working with the game for 20 plus years. Obviously, he's not hot right now. There's not really a strong demand for the game in the US. However, he does tours overseas every single year, but that's pretty much it. It would make sense for Wack 100 to peacefully step back and let Trav take the wheels for the game. I know some of you guys probably want me to be messy with this video, but from what it looks like so far, I just can't call it and say the game and Wack 100 are on bad terms. Wack did wish the game a happy birthday yesterday. He said the game, one of the best to ever do it, put the West on his back and still carrying the flag. Happy birthday, bro. May the creator continue to bless you with many more. So listen, you guys, if Wack 100 and the game really do hate each other behind the scenes, they are doing an amazing job of not letting people find out about it. Last year, the game did an interview with DJ Vlad where he confirmed that, yes, Wack 100 was the reason why.
That's the name of the song, or what you knowing, bro? Play the song Full Will Abide, and I don't need $10. It's not copyright, by the way.
Right? Is it one album? Is it 15 albums? Right. Is it no number ones? Is it 10 number ones? So if we call these people legends that have this body of work, talking music, do we call an individual that had one album out in 7 years?
Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. I thank everybody for tapping in, man. I'm gonna tap in again later this afternoon, man. But like I said, man, the Stockton shooting is a tragedy, man. Prayers in the air for those individuals that lost their life in Stockton, California. It was a mass shooting, man, that left. And they say the count going up. They said 15 people were shot and they left 4 dead. No suspects arrested, and a local rapper from out the California area was killed. Luigi Mangione is in court today with some things are being brought up in federal court. They cannot play the cameras in there. So the reporters and myself, all you could do is just put it on the live stream. As soon as they start talking, be the first to drop it. You know what I mean? That's a fact, though. Game 5's whack 100. I don't think it's a big beef. They're blaming Flex also. They're blaming Flex for playing that song that Max B dissed Jim on. You know, Max B and Jim haven't been throwing those shots at each other since they was home. He performed the song or whatever that's going on. You know, there's a bunch of shit going on. You know what I mean? I gotta load up, you know what I mean, get on X and find some stuff. But it's definitely man, it ain't funny. US going hard. That water deadly. I would hate to be on the boat and it get shot down, like get shot in the water. That's serious. Like they ain't playing over in Venezuela, bro. They not playing over in Venezuela, man. Like the U.S. forces is definitely in the waters. They definitely in their waters. Please hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. Let's get 2 more likes up there. 10 likes, a double up. You know what I mean? 10 likes, a double up. Let's get the likes rolling in there, man. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. Rod Doe Podcast, we out.